This NFL Week 16 Christmas Day triple header edition of the NFL Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time makes the perfect holiday gift. Go to gametime.co and make sure to use that promo code CFBX for $20 off for your first purchase. Again, that's gametime.co, promo code CFBX. Welcome, everyone, to the NFL Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Saturday, December the 23rd, currently 1:03 on the East Coast. Here to get into our Monday. I can't call it Monday Night Football because we have games all day. I'll call it Christmas Day football on Monday, on Christmas Day. A nice triple header happening on Monday. Got two division matchups, and then we got probably the game of the year between the Ravens and the 49ers. Some are calling it the Super Bowl preview, but we shall see. And joining me here to help me break it all down, you guys know him as a voice on the MLB Gambling Podcast, the NBA Gambling Podcast, and of course here on the NFL Gambling Podcast, it's Lonte Smith. Lonte, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Not bad, man. Reading that the man above puts the Giants on Christmas Day, so not a good not a good Christmas present for me, but nonetheless, looking forward to the start of games.
Yeah, man, we got it's gonna be a fun Christmas Day. Obviously it being Christmas, but we have NBA Christmas Day games. Mm-hmm. We have 3 games in the NFL, so it's gonna be a good day of sports. Hanging out with family and all that good stuff. So I'm sure the TV screens are gonna be on for all the degenerate fans all around the country, but. Yeah, 3 games to get into here, Lonte. Let's just get right into it, man. The first game on the board is going to be the first game battle of the AFC West teams. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs. They are hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. Currently, the Chiefs have moved to a 10.5 point favorite with a total of 40.5 in this game. Looking at the injury report, let's start here with the Las Vegas Raiders. Michael Mayer, tight end, is questionable. He didn't practice on Friday. Josh Jacobs, running back for the Raiders, is questionable. He is dealing with a quadricep and an illness. He was a limited participant on practice on Friday. Max Crosby didn't practice as of Thursday. And that is pretty much it. For the Kansas City Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco did miss the last 2 weeks for the Chiefs, but he is expected to play in this game. Sky Moore could return if the team advances far enough. He was put on the IR earlier this week. Mecole Hardman is returning from injured reserve. He was a limited participant in practice on Thursday. Kadarius Toney, Lonte's favorite player of all time, he wasn't at practice on Friday. He's dealing with a hip issue. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is also questionable. He didn't practice on Friday where he was out for a personal matter. And then Jerick McKinnon is dealing with a groin injury. He was not spotted at practice on Saturday. So a couple of injuries, especially in the backfield, but Isaiah Pacheco does return for the Kansas City Chiefs. Lonte, we saw last week the Raiders put up 63 points against the Los Angeles Chargers, and now they are traveling to take on the Chiefs in a series, or I guess in a division matchup where the Chiefs have pretty much dominated this matchup. These two teams matched up earlier.
Yep.
I believe it was Thanksgiving weekend in Vegas, and the Chiefs won that game 31-17, if I'm not mistaken. But you take a look since the 2018 season, the Chiefs against the Raiders, 10-1 straight up, 7-4 against the spread. And over the last, let's go back to the last 5 matchups. The Chiefs are 5-0 straight up, 4-1 against the spread, and they've won those 4 out of those 5 matchups by at least 2 touchdowns. Raiders now, like I mentioned, coming off of the game where they put up 63 points. And typically, we usually see teams struggle a little bit after putting up monumental points. We saw that with the Miami Dolphins, where they put up 70 against the Denver Broncos, only to come out flat against the Buffalo Bills. But Lonte, let's start with the side here. Minus 10.5 in favor of the Chiefs. What are you thinking about the spread here?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you took all the points that I was trying to make. I like KC here. I think the number's fair. Don't get me wrong, but I still think that they're working towards something. They're looking to clinch the AFC West for the 8th straight year. You mentioned that they won 6 straight versus the Raiders. The Raiders only won once in Kansas City since 2012, and 31-17 was the score on the 26th. And I mean, the look ahead on that game was 9.5, and it closed 8.5. And I know Kansas City was coming off of either a couple of losses between the 3-game stretch, or a stretch where they weren't playing well. So I can get here, but it closed 8.5. So I mean, if you're 9.5, the look ahead is 9.5, you close 8.5, and then you flip to Kansas City, I guess you're giving them 2 points for home field, maybe 2.5. And then you factor in that performance that the Raiders had on Thursday night against, a corpse of a team. I think it can be a little bit, it might be a little bit short, especially with the success that Kansas City has had on the Raiders, matter if they were in Las Vegas or Oakland. So I do think Kansas City has upper hand here. To get Pacheco back, that's a good sign for the offense, who has minimal weapons. He was averaging 4.4 yards per carry. Without him in the 2 games, they only averaged 3.2. So shows you a big difference. He also is a threat out of the backfield, and he adds another dynamic to that offense other than Kelsey and Rice. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm not gonna belabor the point. I like Kansas City. I think they win by double digits. They have been amazing versus the division, specifically against the Raiders. I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. I think Kansas City rolls here by double digits. I think we could see a similar score, 31-17. I honestly might not even give them 17. I would say 30-14, 34-13, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Mahomes has dominated in this division ever since he became the starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I mean, I already mentioned the numbers, and you mentioned it as well, is that they've just been dominant in this spot against the Las Vegas Raiders. And I do expect them, obviously, to come back down to earth after putting up 63 points in this game. But I mean, you also nailed it, that they were a 9-point favorite, close 8.5 in Vegas, and now the tide has turned here. Back in Kansas City, where it's more of a favorable home field advantage, right? It's because we talk about some of the better home field advantages in the National Football League. Obviously, Denver and altitude. We talk about the Minnesota Vikings, Saints, when they did have Drew Brees. That was one of the better home fields. Buffalo as well, and Kansas City as well. I think they're in that conversation as well. So, yeah, I'm with you. I like the Chiefs here, minus 10.5. I got a 10, but again, I think it's moving in the right direction for the Chiefs here. Total sitting at 40.5 here. Lonte, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd much rather have the team total over for Kansas City. I don't trust the Raiders offensively. I mean, of course, they had that output, but you can tell that the Chargers kind of quit. So I don't factor in too much of that. And O'Connell is going to be facing a really good defense, who's going to be looking to cement themselves as AFC champion. They still got a shot at the 1 seed, so they still got plenty to play for in Kansas City. And like I mentioned, I just don't trust the offense. I mean, O'Connell's been fine at times, but if you look at his splits against solid defenses, it's not that good. So I'm going with the Chiefs team total over. If I had to play it, I would probably play over, thinking that the Chiefs get up early. The Raiders kind of come back in the back door and get a late touchdown or field goal to go over 40.5. Because although the Chiefs haven't had the best offense as far as output, I think they can get it here, and they can put up 34, 36 by themselves. I think this is a big coming out party for the Kansas City offense.
Yeah, since the 2018 season, Chiefs at home hosting the LA Raiders, they're averaging 37 points per game, 35, 40, 32, 48, and 30. So they've put up at least 30 points in all 5 home games since the 2018 season against the Raiders. And I know the counter argument Well, this isn't the same Chiefs offense that we've seen, in the Patrick Mahomes era, right? Obviously, no Tyreek Hill. They're struggling at that wide receiver position. Really, some inconsistencies there. Travis Kelce maybe seems like he's taken a step back, or maybe it's a whole Taylor Swift thing that's on his head or whatever. But production is down for Travis Kelce. But I think this might be an opportunity for the Chiefs to eh, continue putting up the points. I think the only hesitation I do have, Lonte, is that the Raiders defense has actually been really good since, like, I think we've talked about this plenty of times. That was since Antonio Pierce has taken over. So this kind of feels like a 27-10 type of game to me. I think the game does get under the total. Maybe look at a Chiefs first half team total to go over. I'm pretty sure that number's 14.5. If it's under 2 touchdowns, I do like it. But I think that I would lean more towards a first half team total over for the Chiefs, because they haven't been one of those teams in the second half that have been very high scoring. In fact, I think in the fourth quarter of games, they're scoring the least amount of points. So, I think that's what the way I will tackle the total here. But full game, I do lean towards the under in this game. Player props, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I only got one. And I'm gonna go with Mahomes. I think Mahomes has a really big day against this secondary. His passing yards is 267.5. Is that what you see? I just want to make sure that it's updated.
For Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, 267.5 is what I have.
Let me see.
Mahomes, I think I've seen some 265s as well.
Mahomes is 265.5.
Yeah, so I'll take that. He's over that number in 3 of his last 4 games. He almost put up 300 in Las Vegas, and this was coming off of some less than stellar performances prior to that. At home, you mentioned the Kelce stuff. I think he can have a breakout game here and get going. I mean, if you look at or listen to some people, you would think that the Kansas City offense is just like bottom 5, bottom 10, even bottom 15, but it's still a really good offense. It's just that they don't have a ton of weapons at the disposal as they did. And Kelce taking a step back, I think, is a product of them not having the respect on the outside of any receivers outside of Rice. Even Rice, I mean, of course, he's been good, but he's still a rookie at the end of the day. And they just don't have much else outside of him. So I think that's a direct correlation to why you see Kelce's numbers being down. So, but yeah, I think Mahomes passes for 300 here. So if you want to ladder that up to 300 plus, I think he has a good day here.
Yeah, Rice has been really good over the last 4 weeks for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's had at least 9 targets in 4 straight games, at least 7 receptions in 4 straight games, and he's also had at least 8 receptions throughout the last 4 games as well. So I would probably look at some Rashid Rice props in this game, whether that's receptions or whether that's receiving yards. I currently see his receiving yards listed at let's see here, 66.5. I don't hate that. And then his receptions are currently sitting at let's see, Rashid Rice receptions, where is he? 6.5. So the books have adjusted to his receptions, but I do like his yardage to get over, because if he does get 6 to 7 catches, I would bank on him getting at least 67 receiving yards in this game as well. Anything else for this game, Lonte?
No, that's it, man. I kind of wanted to take Pacheco, but I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, he's playing, but I'm not sure how healthy he is. I mean, he had some cleanup done on his knee. So I wanted to take, because I think his running style fits what the Raiders defense doesn't do well, as far as shifty backs out of the backfield, running a lot of stretch plays. So yeah, I looked at him, but I'll probably just stay away. I just don't know how, if his workload is going to be the same. I mean, all reports saying that he's going to be good for regular workload, but I just, I don't really trust that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But even if Pacheco, if McKinnon's not able to go and CH is already out for a personal matter, I think that he's probably going to end up getting both the bulk of the carries, because
yeah, that's fair.
Anytime Anytime you're probably laughing at this. Anytime I see Pacheco running, I always imagine Isaiah Stewart charging at LeBron James.
Bro,
I
he
don't know
runs
why.
so
Like,
mad. Like he runs
yeah,
so like I don't really. He runs so he did it. I mean, he was like that at Rutgers too. So I mean, like,
yeah.
it's
I mean, yeah.
it's
I would,
crazy.
I would, I would, I would, I would wait and see when the game starts because I know they do. Well, a lot of books do now offer obviously live player props. So if you do see that he's looking good and healthy, um, I would probably get on a live number for Isaiah Pacheco to get over his rushing yards. So I don't hate that angle. All right, Lonte, before we get over to the Giants and the Eagles matchup, let me tell everyone about Prize Picks. Look, Prize Picks is probably the most fun I've had winning money on a daily fantasy sports platform. I've actually won up to 30x my money, and it's so simple to use. And we always put together our Prize Pick entries, whether it's on the NFL Propcast or here on the NFL Gambling Podcast. And it's pretty simple to do. All you got to do is select two players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. And also with the basketball season here, whether it's NBA or whether it's college basketball, you can pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league that's created specifically for combo projections that includes two or more players from different sports or leagues. So, for example, you want to get down on LeBron James and Travis Kelce on Christmas Day at a combo of 10.5 of 3-pointers made by LeBron and receptions by Travis Kelce. Well, you can do that over on the special leagues combo projections on Prize Picks. Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play, even if one of your players gets injured. For football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits a game in the first half and doesn't return in the second, that player is rebooted. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. And Prize Picks is really simple to play. You can make your picks and submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. They also have quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, an enormous selection of players, stats, types, and what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. PrizePicks now also offers Apple Pay for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. So all you got to do is go to prizepicks.com/SGPN and make sure you use that promo code SGPN for a first deposit match up to $100. So again, that's prizepicks.com/SGPN, code SGPN. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. All right, Lance, let's get into the next game on the schedule here. We got an NFC battle. NFC East battle, I should say, between your New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles currently sitting as a 13.5-point favorite in this game with a total of 43. Let's get to the injury report here. Let's start with the New York Football Giants. We do have Cade York, place kicker, is going to be out this Friday. He is dealing with a quadriceps injury. Matt Breida is questionable, was considered a limited participant on Friday. Lawrence Cager, tight end, considered a non-participant in practice as well. Dexter Lawrence, the second, is questionable. Xavier McKinnon is questionable as well. So a few injuries for the New York Giants side. For the Philadelphia Eagles, Devontae Smith did return to practice on Saturday. He was dealing with a knee injury. Zach Cunningham on Friday did not practice. He's also listed as questionable with a knee injury. Darius Slay is dealing with a knee injury and said Friday that he wouldn't give a timeline for his return. So seems like he's trending towards not playing in. Some help coming back. Avonte Maddox was designated to return from injured reserve on Thursday, but not sure if he's going to play on this game on Monday against the New York Giants. Lonte, let's start with the side here. The Eagles almost favored by 2 touchdowns in this game. 13.5 is the number right now. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I don't know if it's an NFC battle. It's more probably just like I think it's a get right spot for Philly. To be honest with you, they played five high leverage games versus arguably, I guess you would say the top 5 of the top 7 power rated teams. Well, really four or the top 6, I would say, because they played Dallas twice. So yeah, I mean, definitely a step down competition. I mean, the Giants, you know, DeVito, good story. He kind of got exposed a little bit versus the Saints, but I think it's a get right spot, man. I really do. The Philly they've owned the Giants as much as it pains me to say that. They've 4 in a row versus us. And the thing is, the biggest mismatch on the field is going to be their pass rush versus our offensive line. I mean, the Giants allow 7 sacks in New Orleans, and Philadelphia's fourth in pass pressures. And they're coming off 3 straight losses at home on Christmas. I mean, even though the Philly fans, they don't like Santa Claus, I'm pretty sure they're gonna.
Terrible.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna get right here. The Giants, they failed to score a touchdown for the fourth time this year. I think that's tied for second in the league. I don't think it's much of a. I don't think it's much to handicap here. To be honest with you, I just think if you just simple, if you think that Philadelphia is in a get right spot like I do, going against the lesser competition in the NFL, probably they're going from the top 5 teams to like a bottom 2 or 3 team in the NFL. I think the number is probably about right, but I would go Philadelphia all the way on the number. I don't think the Giants can match their physicality. Barkley is our best player, probably going to get neutralized with the Philadelphia pass rush and those 7 guys in the box. So DeVito can't really take advantage of secondary, as we know that just the Eagles' weakness. So yeah, man, if I'm playing it, I'll lay the 13.5. I probably won't be playing it, but if I had to, just for show purposes, I'll lay the 13.5. I think the Eagles roll.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about ultimate get right spots. Like this is it for the Eagles, right? Like you're going up against a Giants team that has struggled for most of the season. I think the only pause that I do have is that I don't like what I'm hearing from the Eagles camp.
Right. That's true too.
When we talk about motivation, I don't think motivation is the right word, but effort is not there right now for the Eagles. And this is not the time of the season where you want to be questioning effort because you're a 10+ win team are the Philadelphia Eagles. You're one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. You got to the Super Bowl last year, fell a little bit short. I don't think this is the time of the season where I want to hear that effort is a question for this team, and especially when it's coming from your quarterback. I don't like that, and I think that there's some type of injury that Jalen Hurts is definitely dealing with. I don't know if it's a shoulder injury or the case might be, but to me, he just doesn't look right. So I think this might be a game where they're probably going to rely on their running game. Are the Philadelphia Eagles? There was that stretch you and I talked about this on the pregame shows, and AJ Brown was absolutely tearing it up. He's absolutely disappeared off of the map. As AJ Brown, and now Devontae Smith dealing with that knee injury as well. So I want to make a case for the Giants here, but I just can't do it, especially the way that they have been playing football. So I'll lean here with the Eagles. But we would talk about the ultimate, like you mentioned, the ultimate get right spots. Like this fits the actual criteria for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'll lean with the Eagles here, minus a 13.5. Total's at 43 here. Lonte, any thoughts on the total?
Not really, but just circling back real quick to the Eagles. If you like the Eagles, I would just look for an alt line to get some plus money. Like if you can find like 16.5, 17.5, something like that. I think it's a higher probability. Like, if they win by margin, it's going to be by a big margin, like, 40 to 10, 30 to 3, 30 to 7, something like that. So I think it's a bigger bang for your buck here if you like the Eagles. And I'll say this, man, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to buy the Eagles right now, like for like Super Bowl NFC features, while everybody's writing them off. Because I mean, if you just look, I know we got to get back on track here, but if you just look at some the NFC, I mean, outside of San Francisco, I mean, they're pretty much going to be favored against everybody else. I mean, Dallas, if they have to go to Dallas, it'll be, like 2.5 or something like that for Dallas. But
yeah,
if they win a division, I mean, they're getting a home game. And then they'll have to, they'll welcome in, I guess, whoever, wins. I don't know the structure of the season off the top of my head. But, I mean, you get to San Francisco, I mean, you can hedge or whatever the case may be because there'll be a dog there too. So, yeah I'm thinking I'm going to buy a Super Bowl and NFC features on the Eagles while everybody is down on them. But, yeah, the total, no idea. I have no idea. I would just lean to the Eagles team total. I don't think the Giants offense is going to move the ball at all. I think that pass rush will destroy DeVito.
Yeah, I would maybe look at an Eagles team total over. I think that was probably the only angle that I did find here. Do I trust the Giants to score? Maybe they could get like a backdoor touchdown or something like that to push this game over the total. But I mean, I think this is an opportunity for the Eagles offense just to get right and just put up an incredible amount of points up. I don't think that the offense should struggle in this game for the Philadelphia Eagles. Lonte, player props, fan, in this game. What are you looking at?
Yeah, speaking of Vito, man, I like him. Speaking of that pass rush and I like him over what's the number I got? 20. Hold on a second. 27.5 rushing yards. He's had 4
For
plus
DeVito?
attempts. Yeah, for Vito. I got 4 plus
Yeah.
attempts in every game but one. In his last 2 games, he's had 14 attempts for 107 yards. Like I mentioned, I think pass rush is going to force him out of the pocket, force him to run. He's not really a go-through progressions guy, kind of a one read, check down and go type of quarterback at this time in his career. So I like him over 27.5 rushing yards. And man, if you're a tight end and you go against, if you want to get right, you want to bump your stats up so you can get a contract, play against the Giants because we can't stop tight ends. We haven't been able to stop tight end since I don't know how long. It's probably since Lawrence Taylor was there. But I like Goddard over 40.5 receiving yards. He's been right on the brink of this, 430 in each of the 2 games since he's returned. If you look at some of the tight ends and what they've done against the Giants, Logan Thomas had 50 plus in both games. Kraft had 63. DeJuan Johnson 38. So tight ends if you're a capable tight end, pretty sure you can get open on the Giants defense. So I want Goddard over 40.5 receiving yards, DeVito over 27.5 rushing yards.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you out of either one of those. Dallas Goedert has been good to me this season prior to his injury and even after his injury. So, and like your call about DeVito, I would look at DeVito's pass attempts to go over in this game as well, just because looking at the spread and game script, that if they are trailing by double digits at some point, that he's just gonna have to come out and fling the football and throw it all over the yard, right? So right now his pass attempts, let's see here. Don't see them listed just yet for actually either.
A lot of the Monday night stuff has been kind of teetering back and forth, like on and off. I don't know why.
Yeah. So I would look at that once it does come out for Tommy DeVito. I don't hate that. We'll talk about touchdowns later, but yeah, that's pretty much all I had for this game. Wasn't one of the ones I was more interested in, but you have anything else?
No. Do you think? I know we spoke. You speaking on AJ Brown? You think he has a decent game here? I mean, he's been getting the targets and the receptions, but he's not getting a lot of yards after the catch. I mean, the Giants secondary is okay, but I think this might be a 100+ yard game for AJ Brown.
Yeah. I mean, we know the targets are always going to be there for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at 10 plus targets in 3 straight games, and I know. What's his yardage at?
Let's see. I can find the update number. Where are we? AJ Brown. AJ Brown is. Where are you?
I see 73.5.
Yes, 73, 72.5. You can see it's 71.5. So it's offshore though.
Yeah.
I mean, just ladder it up to 100 plus. If he's gonna go over 70, I'm pretty sure he's gonna have 100.
Yeah, so last season he had 4 receptions for 70 yards, and then earlier this season, 10 targets, 4 receptions, 95 yards.
Right on par.
So right on par, yeah. That just kind of tells me that he's getting long receptions.
Yeah.
Against
so you want to go over his longest reception?
Yeah, I think that would probably be worth a look here because
I mean Smith banged up, so got it over the middle, of course, but gotta stretch the field.
Yeah, I think that him and Jalen Hurts can connect for one over the top. It's at 24.5. Let me see what he's done recently before we get to the last game here. So AJ Brown last week, long reception of 15-24. So he hasn't done it in back-to-back weeks. Got hooked on the Dallas game. He had 38 against the Niners. Against the he didn't play. When did they play the Giants? I don't see his.
No. He they played 2 times in the last 3 weeks. I hate that shit.
Okay, so let me go back.
So they'll play week 18 now in week 18.
Okay. So last season he had one for 37 during the regular season and 33. So if you want to look at that, I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, last season he was absolutely crushing his longest reception. So I think this might be an opportunity where him and Jalen Hurts can connect over the top. So I don't hate that, but I like the yardage for him as well. I think this might be a good game for him to kind of get back on track. But because we know the targets are always going to be there for AJ Brown. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, before we get over to the last game of the Monday night schedule, let me tell everyone about Game Time. Look, you still have time. If you are still looking for a last minute gift, get on Game Time and give some tickets to someone because it's pretty much really simple. All you got to do is go to the app, create yourself an account, and make sure you use that promo code CFBX because Game Time, they take away the stress of having to buy tickets or even gift tickets to someone in your life, whether it's a loved one, whether it's a coworker, friend, whoever the case might be. You can also gift tickets, and it's simple and easy to use. Game Time. Their app has a lot of great features. They have flash deals and last minute tickets, and it's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. So, hey, maybe you don't have a sports fan in your life. Well, they also have tickets for music concerts. They also have tickets for comedy shows and theater near you. And like I said, they also have killer deals on last minute tickets and their best price guarantee. And you can stop stressing over the tickets, start getting hyped for the fun you're going to have. Like I mentioned, you can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and much more. And get this, game time guarantee. Well, that means you're always going to get the best price with the game time guarantee because if you find tickets in the same section and row for less, game time will credit you 110% of the difference. And the absolutely best part I love about game time is that before you actually purchase the tickets, guys, you actually get images of your seat before you buy them. So you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Also, buy tickets in a matter of seconds, two taps, and you're all set to go. Tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you don't have to dig through your email box or wait for them in the mail. Nope, sent directly to your phone. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guarantee. And we're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, a sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right, Lonte, let's get into the last game on the schedule for Monday, and that is going to be probably the game of the year. We have the two teams that are, I believe, number one in, I know the Niners are for sure. I believe the Ravens are as well. Sitting at the number one spots in their respective conferences, the Baltimore Ravens, they are headed to the Bay Area to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Niners are sitting as a 6-point favorite in this game with a total of 47. Start here with the injury report before we get into the actual breakdown of the game. So for the Baltimore Ravens, they have, let's see here. So we know Kenton Mitchell is going to be out. He suffered that hyperextended knee injury. Ronnie Staley is questionable. He is in concussion protocol. That is pretty much it for the San Francisco 49ers. Juwan Jennings is questionable. He did not practice on Friday. Ross Dwelly is also questionable with the ankle injury. Elijah Mitchell, running back, is questionable as well. He didn't participate in practice on Friday with a knee injury as well. Javon Hargrave, defensive tackle, did not participate in practice on Thursday. Arik Armstead is also questionable as well. That is pretty much it. So, some depth concerns at the skill positions for the Niners, and also a couple of injuries on the defensive side of the football, and Javon Hargrave and Arik Armstead. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on for those two guys because they're very imperative to their rush defense. Lonte, let's start with the side here, man. Game of the year -6 in favor of the Niners. What are you thinking?
Man, this is a great game. I'm kind of on the fence to be honest. I don't know if you can talk me. I can make a case for either side. But I guess I'll just stay neutral right now until I hear what you got to say, because I'm interested to see which side you're on. Um, so the main thing for Baltimore is, can they run the ball? San Francisco's rush defense, it can be exploited. Baltimore rush offense is rushed for over 100 yards, 30 straight games. I think it's like an NFL record. The Cards last week ran all over San Francisco, like literally ran all over them before some turnovers kind of, got in the way of that game, and they put it away. But Ronnie, you mentioned Ronnie Staley. I mean, him not being fully healthy is gonna hurt, but it kind of gets neutralized with the possible absence of Hargrave and Armstead. So you want to monitor that status, like you said, because if they're not there, that kind of negates it. And I think Baltimore will be able to run the ball a little bit more. If you look at, Keaton Mitchell is a big loss. I mean, not a lot of people, knew who he was, especially undrafted out of Carolina. So shout out Kobe for that. He was the explosive back, and he was kind of taking over the backfield. You can kind of see it coming. He can do a lot more things than what Hill and Goodbus could do. So I think that's a huge loss, and I think Lamar is going to use his legs a lot here. He's 22 passing yards away from setting a career mark that he set back in his MVP season. So I'm not sure what the game plan is going to be as far as offensive play calling. It should be, heavy run game. Don't throw it all over the place. Kind of let your offensive line get off the ball and dictate where, the clock, keep the ball out of the San Francisco offense hands. But, on the other side, I mean, San Francisco's been dominant for almost 2 months. They won 6 straight games by 10 plus. They could clinch a 1 seed with two wins in the next 3 games. And they're doing it in all facets of the game. I mean, they're doing it with the run game, the pass game, defense. They're taking care of the football. They're tied for the NFL lead in fewest giveaways and for most takeaways. Got 12 giveaways and 25 takeaways. So anytime you have a margin like that, that's set up for success as far as winning football games. And to be winning by margin just goes to show you. And it's not a cupcake schedule. I mean, we've seen them beat the top teams in the NFL. McCaffrey 7 straight games, 100 plus yards from scrimmage. Debo 7 touchdowns in his last 3 games. So, I mean, just an embarrassment of riches for them. I think the path to their success is kind of, exposing the secondary. You look at what, guys like Stafford did to the Ravens, kind of went up and down the field. Goff kind of went up and down the field, although Goff was more so, in garbage time because they were kind of up on them. But I do think the pass defense can be had for San Francisco. But it's all up to that pass rush. If the pass rush for San Francisco can get home and stop that run game, make them play behind the chains, then it could be a long day. I mean, man, Brock Purdy playing out of his mind on this game winning streak. Munaf, he's 136.1 passer rating, 17 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, 11 yards per attempt. He's got 6 games with 130 passer rating. That's the most ever in history. So, I mean, Brock Purdy's playing lights out. And with the secondary of Baltimore, Marcus Williams. Did you mention Marcus Williams at the top? I can't remember if you said it.
I didn't see him on the injury report. Let me double check here.
The safety, he left the game last week. I don't think he returned, but I seen him on the injury report earlier in the week, but maybe I just didn't update my notes. But I'm pretty sure if he's not on the injury report, then he's going to be playing. But I'm not sure how.
Yeah, I don't see him.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so I'm not sure how 100% he will or how effective he'll be, because I know he's not going to be 100%. But yeah, man, I can make a case for both sides. Usually when I do that, I want to have, got a degenerate mode. We're going to have some action on the game. Probably be on Baltimore plus the points, and they can run the ball, control the clock, keep the ball out of that offense's hands. I mean, Lamar is 19-1 versus the NFC, so this is a different beast for sure. I'm not buying MVP for Lamar thing. I'm not sure if you are, but a lot of people are thinking this has big implications on the MVP. I personally don't think so. I wouldn't even put Lamar in the top 5, to be honest with you. But yeah, man, I think it's gonna be a great game. I think both teams have an advantage. I have respective advantages. Baltimore with their run game, San Francisco with their pass game and their scheme to be able to get guys open. But yeah, it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to it. I'm leaning to Baltimore. Kind of want to hear what you're gonna go with.
Yeah, so initially when I saw this line, I thought it was a lot of points for
Yeah, okay.
the San Francisco 49ers, right? But I mean, again, both these teams, especially, I mean, I think Niners are just in a class of their own right now, how dominant they have been thus far this season. But I think the concerning part for me is what you mentioned, that last week the Arizona Cardinals were able to get 30 rush attempts for 234 yards. And if you want to take out some of the wide receivers they had in that game that ran for, some rush attempts, Rondell Moore and Greg Dortch, 2 carries for 8 yards. So even if you take those numbers away, that yards per carry goes up even more. James Conner, 14 carries, 86 yards. Amari DiMarcardo, 4 for 64. Kyler Murray, 6 for 49. So I I like I like the Ravens in this spot. I just feel like this is one too many points. I think the Niners probably win by either 3 or 4 points in this game. So getting 6 for a team that can run the football, right? I mean, you mentioned like Kenton Mitchell is going to be out. I think this might be a big game for Lamar on the ground. Um, well, I know we'll talk about player props in a minute here, but I think that the rushing attack for the Ravens is something that they can take advantage of. And I mentioned those 2 injuries for the Niners, right? Arik Armstead and Javon Hargrave. That if either one of those guys or if both of those guys are not able to go in this game, I think that's all obviously advantage for the Baltimore Ravens in this game. So I'm gonna lean with the Ravens here. I think it's going to be a great game. I think my more favorite play is going to be on the total as well. But if you're going to give me 6 with the Ravens here, again, I know how great the Niners have been this season. They've been absolutely dominating opponents. You mentioned about how well Brock Purdy's playing as well and all the offensive weapons that they do have. But I think for the Ravens, when I think about a Ravens team, I usually think it's like a blue collar team. Like they'll
Yep.
get down and dirty. You know what I mean? Like in the trenches. I think the physicality is a little bit more for the Baltimore Ravens, and I
Yeah.
think that's something that they can, really impose their will on in this game is their physicality. So, I like Ravens +6 here. Total sitting at 47 in this game here, Lonte. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like the over, man. If you notice, we've been on a nice overrun in prime time and in some of these games against, the more, I guess, play the playoff teams who are in higher stakes games. We've seen the offenses have some success, and I think both teams here have the path to success. And if you notice, I think they were pointing this out on the broadcast. I don't know if I was watching a mini cast or with Joe Buck and Troy, but it's when they played or no, that was Sunday night. I'm sorry, it was Collinsworth. Yeah. So when they played the Jags, if you see the drastic change from Ronnie Staley to the backup, like he was allowing so much pressure on that side, they had to bring they had to bring an extra tight end over there to kind of help with protections and when Lamar was dropping back. That's why he was scrambling so much. I mean, he was kind of getting like they had him several times in the grasp and they couldn't get to him, so they were getting there. And if Armstead and Hargrave are there, man, I think that pressure might ramp up. And I'm not sure what the play calling is going to consist of, but I think it should be more ground and pound attack. I think they can have some explosive runs, especially with Lamar, with improv or whatever the case may be. And I don't see Purdy getting slowed down in the pass game. I mean, not with this Ravens secondary, not at all. I don't think they can slow him down. So I think we see points there, man. I'm looking for, this is the last game of the night as far as NFL. So I'm looking for like a 34-31 type of game. I think we can get over that number pretty easily with that. Even I mean, you can get over 28-20, 20, 27-21. So I see various ways to get over. I think both offenses have pathways to success against the defense. So give me the over.
Yeah, I love the over in this game as well. I mean, everything that you mentioned, I think this the offenses will have a lot of success in this game, and I think that if the Baltimore Ravens are able to establish the run, I think that some play action passing can have some success for Lamar Jackson. Whether it's to OBJ or whether it's to Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, I think as well. Obviously, no, they don't have Mark Andrews. I think Isaiah Likely can have a big game here as well. So, I love the over in this game, over 47 and a half. Sorry, 47. If you look at a Niners team total to go over, we know the story about Brock Purdy and how well they've been doing when he's starting quarterback, 30 plus points. it's almost automatic when they're healthy and they have their guys playing well. So love the over in this game. Let's get a player props, Lonte. What are we looking at?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go back to something that we both like. Well, I think you liked it as well. You mentioned it at the top. I'm going Lamar Jackson over rushing yards. He is at let me get my he is at 59 and a half. 59 and a half for his rushing
Yeah, I
yards.
see 59.5 even money.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, high leverage game. Without Keaton Mitchell, I think the explosiveness is going to come from Lamar. Both of those backs are not really explosive backs. They're more so of a 4, 5 yard type of run, and then you kind of switch it up and do the same thing. I think Lamar is going to have a big game. I would even ladder him up to 100 plus. I think he's going to have a big game, specifically if Hargrave and Armstead are not there. That just limits what they can do up front. They'll be able to key in more on Bosa and Chase. So, yeah, I like Lamar over 59.5 rushing yards. I would ladder it up to 100 plus. I think he has a big game. And we mentioned it, man, Brock Purdy over
Yeah.
252.5 passing yards. Man, I think this is good. I would ladder him up to 300 plus. Baltimore, they struggled in the secondary. He's over his number in 6 of his last 8 games. Baltimore has faced a ton of, average to above average quarterbacks. If you look at some of the people on the list that they played, Watson, DTR, Burrow was injured halfway through, so they got Browning kind of like he was kind of like coming in unprepared. They got Dobbs, Geno, Pickett, Tannehill, and Willis. So not really a murderer's row of passing offenses, but when they have faced quarterbacks who can, above average to average quarterbacks, Trevor threw 264, Stafford 294, Goff 284. So I think Brock Purdy has a really, really big game here. Of course, with McCaffrey in the backfield, I would look at him receiving yards over as well. So yeah, man, high scoring game. So it's going to be a lot of overs in these player props.
Yeah, I really like Isaiah Likely. 17.5 is his number.
Oh man, that's short. Yeah, that's short.
Yeah, that's really short. Last 3 games, short. 40 receiving yards, 83, 70. He's at least 6 targets in each of the last 3 weeks, and at least 4 receptions over the last 2 weeks as well. So we know that the chemistry that Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson had. I think that for Lamar, like, he likes finding his tight ends, right? So I think there's an opportunity where it continues for Isaiah Likely. Love your call about Lamar Jackson on his rushing yards. I think that's a always a I won't say easy bet, but it's a smart bet to make, especially with Lamar. And then again, like we talked about last week, the Arizona Cardinals were able to have a lot of success on the ground running the football against the Baltimore Ravens. And historically, we know that the Baltimore Ravens have been a run first team. So, yeah, I do like that look here a lot. Anything else you like in this game?
No, that's it. I would look at maybe if you like some of these guys, like I like Christian McCaffrey's receiving yards, kind of just ladder them up because I think, like I said, I think it's going to be a high scoring game. You mentioned Likely. I didn't know it was that low. I do like Likely. And Zay Flowers being banged up kind of wants me to.
Nope, I think we lost Lonte here for a second. So yeah, I'll throw out a couple more player props here. I thought Christian McCaffrey's receiving yards is at a low number here as well. So I'm sorry, I misspoke on the Isaiah Likely one. His number is actually at 38.5. I was under the longest receptions at 17.5. So his longest reception for Isaiah Likely is 17.5, but his yardage is at 38.5. So I like 38.5 for Isaiah Likely. Like I mentioned, the numbers, he is at 40, 83, and 70. So I do like that. Christian McCaffrey receiving yards has been something that's really good to me this season. If you want to look at Christian McCaffrey on his receiving yards to go over, that number is at, let's see here. 31.5. I do like that number as well. So yeah, a couple of opportunities there that I do like. Montano, you cut out there for a second, but anything else you
Yeah,
wanted to add?
where did I cut out at? I'm sorry, I didn't even have to start.
Well, I had to correct myself because I misspoke on the Isaiah Likely receiving yards number. The 17.5 is his longest reception, but his
Okay.
receiving yards number is at 38.5.
It's,
But I still
yeah,
like that over.
Yeah, I still like that as well. Yeah, but yeah, I didn't have much else outside of the ones that we named. I'm kind of not sure what the game plan is going to be for the Ravens. I'm not sure if they're going to go more run heavy, which they should, or if they're going to kind of be more balanced. But I think they should try to be more run based. And I don't trust any of the running backs, so that's why I'm going to go more. I'm not sure who's going to get the workload because they've been splitting it between Mitchell, Gus, and Hill. So not sure how the carries are going to be distributed. And I don't know about the pass game either. So probably just going to stay away from Ravens players. We'll look at a decent amount of San Francisco players, though.
All right, Lonte, let's get into our touchdown scores for this Monday slate here. Who do we like to find the end zone?
We're going all three games, right? All three games?
Yeah, all three.
Combined?
Yeah. Anything, yeah.
I'm going to go with, let me see, who do I have? Should we go with the giant killer, Boston Scott? I don't know if he's going to touch the field, though.
That's what my whole concern is that everybody is on that train. I think this opened up at 10-1, and it's all the way down to I think like plus 320 or something.
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, now it's on plus 260.
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous. Let's go with Travis Kelce to find the end zone. He hasn't been in there in a while. What's Travis Kelce?
Kelce is minus 125.
Never mind. I don't want Kelce. Let's do AJ Brown.
AJ's at minus 105. No, sorry. Yeah, minus 105 is what I see. Maybe able to find some better numbers, maybe even money for AJ Brown.
Yeah, I like AJ Brown.
I like Rashid Rice plus 140. I mean, that number has really corrected itself over the past.
For sure.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you could probably earlier in the season you could have got a really nice price on it, but he's been featured more in the offense, obviously, for this Chiefs offense. So plus 140, I don't hate that.
What about Lamar?
Lamar is at plus 175. I like that.
Love Lamar.
Yeah. Isaiah Likely plus 220. I'll definitely throw that one out there as well.
Yep,
Kittle plus 140.
What about Ayuk?
Well, Brendan Ayuk is at plus 135. The only minus price for the Ravens and the Niners game is going to be Christian McCaffrey's minus 255.
Right. That's ridiculous.
I think that was like earlier in the season. You and I were doing a pregame show. We were doing our touchdown parlay, and he was at one game. He was minus 400 for any time touchdown.
Seriously though, this was probably whenever he was going for the record, I think.
Yeah,
man. One of my good friends, my man Willow, he was saying like if you just parlayed just Jalen Hurts and Christian McCaffrey touchdown to score touchdown props, you'd probably be tired by now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that 100%.
Like that's crazy. That's so
crazy. Any other?
Man, but that's all I had. Yeah, that's all I had.
All right, so let's do our lock and dog, and then we can get to our PrizePicks entry for the Monday games here. You want to lead us off with your best bets or lock and dog?
Yeah, I'll lock up the get the Chiefs minus the 10.5. Mentioned at the top, I think it's a good matchup for him as it always is. They have a shot to lock up the division for the 8th straight year. They've had a lot of success against Raiders team in better iterations of this Raiders team, I might add. I think the number is about right, but I think the outcomes are more 16 plus for the Chiefs. I think the offense gets right here. And for the dog, I'm gonna go with. I'm trying to find an alt line. Actually, I'll just say that. So I'll go with Baltimore on the money line. Thinking they come out and try to run the ball. They take care of the ball. Don't give San Francisco short fields. And I think they might can win the game outright. So give me Baltimore as a dog.
All right. All right. For my lock, I am gonna go with I gave out the Chiefs on our graphic this week, so I don't want to give out the Chiefs again. I'll go with the over in the Niners and the Ravens game. I mean, we talked about. I think both offenses should be on full display in this game. We know what the Niners offense can do. I think that the Ravens will, their offense should have success on the ground. Lamar, I think will have success. I think he'll have some success passing through the air as well. So, do like Lamar to have a big game here as well. For my dog, Isaiah Likely, I like him. Let me see the receiving yards. Like all the receiving yards for some of these guys in these games. I really do like Rashid Rice. I think he's gonna have a big game. Let's see. AJ Brown's number 100 plus is plus 230. Let's do. Yeah, I think I like Isaiah Likely in this game. 50 plus receiving yards is at plus 160. And then Lamar on his alt rushing yards. I think that I would not be shocked if he does get 100 plus, but I definitely think that with the number of attempts he can get at 70 plus or even 80 plus, that's at plus 125 or 70 plus to 80 plus at 2-1, 90 plus 3-1, 100 plus is at plus 450. So, again, if Lamar runs 10 plus times, Lonte, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the realm of 65 to 70 rushing yards in this game.
I'll say 100. To be honest, I'm laddering him up to 100.
Yeah, that's all the way up to plus 450 for him to have 100 plus receiving yards. Rushing yards is at plus 450 for Lamar.
Let me change my dog, then. I'm gonna change my dog to that.
All
Lamar over 100 plus yards rushing. 450.
Love it. All right, before we get out of here, let's put together our PrizePicks entry for the schedule here on Monday. And I know we're recording a little bit early, and maybe
they should have them. They had them up all week though.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, I see it. All right, so we want to let's start with Lamar.
Yep, absolutely.
Rushing yards. Let's see what the number is here on PrizePicks. So, where's this normal? Oh, yeah, 59.5. We'll go more on that.
Likely.
Isaiah Likely receiving yards. Let's find that. Isaiah Likely 38.5. We'll go more on that. What else?
What else do we like from this slate? I'm trying to figure out
AJ Brown. What else did you like?
Let's see. What else did we like? Kelsey. Yards.
Kelsey receiving yards. Let's see what it's at. 65.5 is the number.
Yeah, I like that more than that. I like that.
All right.
And do we like Purdy? Did we like Purdy over?
Purdy on his passing yards?
Yeah, passing yards.
Let's see what the number is. Purdy. 254.5 is the number.
Yeah, I like that over.
All right. So, we'll put together that power play 4-pick entry. So Brock Purdy, more than 254.5 passing yards. Travis Kelsey, more than 65.5 receiving yards. Isaiah Likely, more than 38.5 receiving yards. And then Lamar Jackson, more than 59.5 rushing yards. We'll go more on that $100 entry. For those that go 4 for 4, you'll get a $1,000 return on PrizePicks. Again, go to prizepicks.com. Make sure you use that promo code SGPN. You'll get a first deposit match of up to $100. All right, Lonte, anything else we want to mention, my man, before we get out of here?
That's it, man. Happy holidays, everybody. Even though we'll probably be back sometime soon. So, yeah, but happy holidays, everybody. Hope you enjoy the games. Hoping we make some money while you're enjoying or, trying to get away from your family, because I know that's a constant theme in some people's household. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely enjoy the weekend. Christmas on Monday with obviously football going on and NBA going on. So a lot of action happening over the weekend, of course, as well. So don't be responsible about your betting and enjoy the time
Yeah,
with family and
definitely.
friends as well. We'll be here sometime over the weekend to do the NBA pod for the Christmas Day games. We'll figure out a schedule for that, see who's available. And then Lonte and I will be here, usual time, 10 a.m. Eastern for a pregame show before the Sunday games kick off. So join us then at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, and we'll rock it as usual. All right, appreciate everybody in the chat. Usual suspects,
Yes, sir.
Junk 72, Cashfit, Dilly Lane was in there as well. So appreciate you guys hopping into the chat with us. All right, we'll talk to you guys later on this week. Good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off and let it ride.